welcome, namaskar. My name is Brian. Thank you for joining this Yin Nidra sound class. Before we get started, as you are orienting to your space, if you have blocks and bolsters, feel free to grab those. These might just enhance the class, but it's completely optional. And we're going to start standing, so taking opportunity, if you're on your mat, go ahead and come to that elevated position. We'll start in a nice, easy mountain shape. And once you get there, if you have a block, it might be nice to put it in between your inner thighs so you can really feel that engagement, that connectivity between the thighs and the blocks as it starts to ground you into the earth as we start to ground ourselves into the present moment. So however that looks like for you, if you want to close your eyes, if you want to just allow your hands to get nice and soft, maybe you start to become aware of your breath. Maybe put one hand on your heart, one hand on your chest, and just feel your inhale and your exhale. Take a moment, just start to scan the body and observe whatever energy you're bringing to the class today, just giving yourself permission to detach from conversations, things that might be circling your mind. Just knowing that this is time for yourself. And granted, there are likely to be sounds and noises coming to you from outside in St. Petersburg, Florida. If there's any disruptions or disturbances, just know that these are merely vibrations. They can come and go. You do not have to attach to anything. And whether there's distractions in my environment or your environment, it still holds the same premise wherever you are. Just allowing yourself to feel the breath, knowing that wherever we meet, sensation and breath together, they reside in the present moment. In the yin class that we'll do, we're going to hold shapes a little bit longer than a traditional vinyasa class. So if that's new to you, that's really okay. You don't have to strain. You don't have to try too hard. You certainly don't have to hurt yourself. So just allow yourself to find those quiet moments. This really is a practice for the mind, where it's so easy often to move and to adjust and to fidget, but when we drop in and when we find ourselves in a place of stillness, that's where we really get to go a little bit deeper. And even still already, you might start to shift your awareness towards the feet. Maybe you rock slowly from side to side and just feel the sensations, the outer edges of the feet on the earth. Maybe you rock from front to back. There's four corners of the feet. Maybe just take an opportunity just to connect with those, the outer edges right behind the front toes, the back of the feet, the heels. If you like, you can allow the thighs to press the block forward so you see the block moving out and just feel how that grounds you down. It really allows the feet to connect with the earth. The tailbone starts to slightly tuck. You start to set up for that samasthiti position, that perfect alignment that we find in every shape. But starting in the mountain shape, what that looks like is the lower body's engaged, the core is pulled in, the shoulders melt away from the ears, find length in the crown of the head. Maybe you imagine holding an apple underneath the throat and just allow yourself just to be present, just to feel your breath. Maybe you switch to breathing in exclusively through the nose. If Ujjayi breath is in your practice, maybe you observe that ocean-like sound in the back of the throat, that constriction. It's like fogging a mirror as you exhale, and just allow that sound that's unique to you, that starts to tell your body you're in a safe place. It starts to release those feel-good hormones, starts to pull back on the cortisol. Like you can add a little kumbhaka retention at the top of the breath. So as you inhale, really feel the ribs expand, the space between the ribs, the chest, everything starts to lift. And then add a little pause at the top where you just float at the top of the breath. Just feel that buoyancy, that upward lift. Maybe you feel a little bit lighter. Just continue to hold the breath here. And then slowly, as you exhale, feel the body getting heavier, starting to surrender a little bit more. And at the bottom of the breath, you can also add a retention. So squeezing out all that old air, and see how long you can hold the breath here. It's often a moment where your body's going to want that fresh inhale, but maybe you just hold it for a 7 count or a 10 count, creating that fresh need for that fresh prana. Anytime you can close your eyes and pull your practice completely from within, practicing that pratyahara. We'll be here for about 30 more seconds. And you can keep your eyes closed for this. You can start to engage your core slightly. You can allow yourself just to become aware of where you are. And slowly put a bend in the knees. Maybe you reach the hands down towards the earth with the palms facing you. And once you get there, maybe just have a little mini squat. Your inner thighs are squeezing that block. And then slowly on your next inhale, you allow the hands to start to make a half circle towards the earth as you rise up in unison with the hands. And then at the top of the breath, the hands really scrape the room or the ceiling wherever you're in. And then as you exhale, you slowly bring the hands, maybe your gaze is towards the palm and the fingertips as it goes past the eyes, past the throat. So you're really allowing yourself just to press down and to cleanse your own little area as you slowly start to surrender back to the earth, bending into the knees, sitting back in the hips. We'll do that a couple more times. So slowly on the inhale, maybe allow your peripheral vision to be soft as you just focus on the fingertips and the palms of the hands, and then slowly bring the palms towards the body. And then as you exhale, allowing the hands to cleanse. Maybe imagine the hands as burning embers of fire that are cleansing out your chakra space. A couple more times, moving with your breath, feeling the earth ground down into the feet as you press into the earth and rise up. And then as you exhale, slowly squeezing the inner thighs towards that block, really feeling nice and firm, just starting to create a little bit of movement. Opportunity to connect your movement with breath. So we inhale, we rise, feeling that prana current, that expansion, scraping the clouds and then pulling down all that energy as we exhale. Finding that apana current grounding into the earth, letting go of that which no longer serves you. One more time, nice and slow, just focusing your concentration on the hands, really allowing everything in the peripheral to be nice and blurry. Beautiful. Once you get to the earth, allow yourself to touch the earth. Big bend in the knees. You can start to hinge forward with the head. You can tilt the pelvis forward. You can sway your hands, touching the fingertips towards the earth. Maybe you imagine yourself like a nice mossy oak tree where you're firmly rooted and grounded in the feet, but you slowly move with the wind. Maybe you feel that connection to the earth, passing by each fingertip. And then slowly, if you like, maybe you come into the shin space and the ankles, and you give yourself a nice little sensory tapping. Maybe you make your hands like mallets. You just tap to those areas around the ankles, around the feet. Feeling each sensation with gratitude. Our feet, we often forget about them, but they are with us on every step of our journey. And just move into the calves, you move into the knees, those areas, just these nice little taps. They just awaken the body, allow us to feel comfortable and safe.
And then whenever you're ready to drop into stillness, allow yourself just to hinge forward. Maybe you tuck the hands into ragdoll by bringing the pinkies into the elbow creases. And just allow yourself to get nice and heavy. We'll be here for 2 minutes. Becoming aware of your breath. Feeling the ribs, the lungs connect with the thighs as you inhale. Feeling the backside of the hips rise as well. And then as you exhale, feel that extra space for the head to fall towards the earth, everything getting nice and heavy. To squeeze out all that old air. If you like more sensation, you can reach the hips a little higher. If you like a little less sensation, sit back, bend the knees, sit back in the hips a little bit more. Wherever you are, just allow yourself to adjust, maybe removing any need to wiggle or wobble. And for the next minute and a half, we're just going to find ourselves in perfect stillness. Just you and your breath. I'm here for about 1 more minute. Opportunity to hold the breath at the top or the bottom of the breath. It only allows you just to deepen your practice. It might also allow you to guide the mind. If your mind is wandering, just knowing that you control the tempo of the thoughts with the breath. Here for about 2 more cycles of breath, just taking your time, maximizing each inhale, each exhale. If your hands are in ragdoll, it may be nice just to allow them to fall towards the earth, just allowing everything to let go. And then we'll slowly, mindfully exit the shape. So engaging the core, sitting back in the hips, and allow the belly to pull to the spine as you ground into the feet and you slowly, delicately rise up, coming back to that Tadasana shape where we started. Take a moment once you get there, allow yourself just to recalibrate. Beautiful. From here, we'll go into some sunbirds just to allow ourselves to move a little more energy before we drop to the earth. So as you pause and have those feet grounded into the earth, allow your hands to come to the side. We'll slowly inhale, rising the hands up. Once they get upright, allow yourself to take the gaze lifting as well. Then the right hand is going to guide the left over towards the right side of the body. And as you do so, you'll feel the outer edge of the left foot, the left hip grounding into the earth. Maybe the gaze is towards the sky. If this is not comfortable, you can always bring the right hand towards the hips and just feel yourself opening up along that side body, the left obliques, the left underarms. As you inhale, you can breathe to that space. And then as you exhale, maybe feel the right side of the ribs getting a little bit heavier. And a couple more breaths here, nice and slow. Little half moon over to the right side. Slowly on your next inhale, coming up to center. Now the left hand's going to guide the right wrist over, taking it to the left side. Now you're grounding into the outer edge of the right foot. The right hip is dropping down. You can really feel yourself opening up that space between the ribs on the right side. But just observe also where your feet are. The thighs are still engaged, finding that samasthiti. Anytime as you close your eyes, you really allow the vestibular system to have a little more enhancement, just always guiding you where you are in time and space when you start to shift the body into different degrees and different positions. As you slowly inhale, come to center, releasing the grip, and then slowly as you bend your knees, we're going to lead with the heart. We'll hinge forward. We'll start to fold forward nice and slow. Once you get to the earth, on your next inhale, rise up for a half lift. Pause here. Maybe the hands come to the knees or the hands come to the hip. The core is engaged. The shoulders are nice and moving away from the ears. Just lengthen the crown of the head. Big breath in. And really pause here for a moment. Feel the core. Feel everything pulling upward. That energy from the earth is moving up. Big inhale. And then slowly, as we exhale, we'll hinge forward back into that forward fold, bending into the knees, sitting back in the hips. On your next inhale, root into the feet, rise up. Hands to gratitude as you exhale. Let's do that a couple times as a little bit of a flow. So we inhale, the hands go to the sky. As we exhale, we're going to half moon over towards the right side. Inhale, center. Exhale, take it to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, big bend the knees, hinging forward slowly, sinking down, leading with the heart. Inhale, rise up, half lift. Exhale, fold. Big bend in the knees, sit back in the hips, slowly coming up. Hands to gratitude as we exhale. Let's do that one more time. Maybe you close your eyes this time, allowing your hands to float towards the sky. The right hand guides the left over towards the right side. Inhale, we find length in the crown of the head, the core is engaged, grounding to the feet, coming over now to the left side. Moving with your breath. Inhale. Exhale, we hinge. Nice and slow. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold. Root into the feet, slowly come back to standing. Namaste as we exhale. Beautiful. If you have that block between your feet, allow yourself to release it. Feel free to grab that bolster, that block. You can allow your feet to spread out a little bit, so heel toe the feet away. And we're going to set up for a nice deep malasana squat. So we're going to allow ourselves to find some stillness there. And so feel free to use the block, the bolster, or if you can drop down and hold that shape for a period of time without any help, completely your option. So we'll bend into the knees, check that the knees are following the feet and moving in the same trajectory. As you sit back into the hips, feel free to land the tailbone on top of that block. As you feel the feet find the earth, spreading the toes wide, and once again finding those outer edges of the feet, making sure that they're fully engaged, seeing how as you press into the feet, maybe you find even a little more length and extension in the head, in the core, observing if you're hinging forward. If so, feel free to use an adjustment. Everybody finds and feels this shape a little bit differently. Just take your time to drop in. We're going to be here for 2 whole minutes. So just observe where your breath is going. Maybe the hands walking towards the inner thighs as pillars that help to open up a little more spaciousness there. Maybe you like to close your eyes. If you'd like to go a little deeper, you can bring one hand to the earth. You can start to rotate the other towards the sky, introducing a little rotation. Maybe you bring that other hand behind the back. If you're taking that modification, allow yourself to unwind, hinge to the other side.
Rotating, finding length, feeling the right ribs move towards the earth as the left ribs move behind you. But then most importantly, allow yourself to come back to the traditional shape, and rather than distracting yourself with movement, this is where the yin practice gets really tough, because you want to find stillness. You want to find that moment where you go inward, where you sit with the edge, that space of the balance between comfort, effort, and ease. And just allow yourself to lean into the edge or to back away, but not to feel any effort to rush or to try too hard. Just allow gravity and time to do the work for you. That's why having blocks and bolsters are such a big help, big improvement, because they allow you to find a little more spaciousness that you might not be able to get on your own without straining. And so we'll just sit here for the next minute. If you can bring your hands to Hakini like I'm doing, maybe you find a mudra that's right for you. Hakini is beautiful because it allows us to find that midline. So it's like Namaste, gratitude, but instead of the palms coming together, you find that space. It represents the inner light, the inner wisdom. If you meditate with the Hakini mudra, it can help you to stimulate parts of the brain to where those moments when you've misplaced your keys or you're trying to find the remote control or something's been missing for a few days, sometimes just dropping in for 30 seconds with a kini will stimulate that part of the brain, and slowly you'll come to recognize where you hid that thing. We're here for about 30 more seconds. Feel your breath. Feel the ribs, everything getting lighter as you inhale. And then feel everything grounding to the feet, grounding to the lower body as you exhale. You're here for one more full cycle of breath. Big breath in. And then slowly as you exhale, allow the hands to come to the earth. Allow yourself to lift the hips, coming off of the block or the bolsters, coming back into that forward fold. Maybe you heel toe the feet closer to where you were. You can remove the blocks and the bolsters. Taking just a moment just to recalibrate. On your next inhale, rise up for a half lift. And then as you exhale, now we are going to come down to the earth. So allow yourself to find the earth, bend into the knees, bringing yourself into a tabletop. Sitting back into the hips, we're going to bring a bolster or a pillow. We're going to use this as a modification to go into a deeper toe stretch. So whenever you're ready, allow yourself to come onto the toes. And then we're going to use the block or the bolster as an offset for the knees to make this a little more comfortable as we find some stillness here. So the other props can come behind the hips. That can also be a nice offset for the weight. As you allow yourself to check that each toe touches the earth. As you find yourself sitting back in the hips, adjusting, feeling the sensation without classifying or saying good or bad. There's only sensation. And let's allow ourselves to think about the upward focus, upward lift of the energy as we allow ourselves to get a little heavy in the feet. And if you like, you can come back into those fiery razor hands, and slowly as you inhale, make that half circle. Feeling that lift and that rise, the gaze lifts, and then as you exhale, feel the hands cleansing each of your chakras, moving down. Doing that a couple times, moving with breath. Doesn't take long here for that space between the toes to start to speak, start to open up that connective tissue, but it's really a magic shape.
This is one that you'll feel after the class is over, guarantee. Moving with your breath. One more time. Slowly, whenever you're ready to exit, remove any blocks or bolsters. We'll allow ourselves to come onto our knees, and you can tap the feet out, open up that spaciousness there. And then spread the knees wide, sit back in the hips. We'll drop into a nice child's pose, giving yourself time to recalibrate. You can bring that bolster in between the thighs, back towards the tailbone. You can allow it to be a nice little shelf for the heart space as you find the earth. Maybe the head comes to the block with the third eye on the block. Just allow yourself just to get nice and heavy here, feeling your breath, observing any sensation. We'll be here for about 2 minutes. Just allow yourself to feel where the lungs connect with the thighs, feel where the hands connect with the earth. Maybe you internally rotate the palms so that the pinkies fly towards the sky. You can really feel the palms of the hands reaching towards the air as you sit back in the hips a little more, and then slowly, when you're ready to bring the hands back down, really feel that perfect alignment from the index fingers all the way towards the shoulders. Slowing your breath down. Maybe introduce that kumbhaka retention at the top of the breath. We're here for 1 more minute. We're going to slowly start to transition from the shape. We'll bring the left hand underneath the right on the outer edge of the right side of the mat. The right hand will come back. So we'll be in a little half moon variation even within our child's pose. And as we do this, we're going to feel our ribs connecting with the right thigh. We're going to bring all of our awareness there. So almost forget that the left side of the ribs, the left side of the obliques exists, and just put all of your concentration here on the right side of the ribs, connecting with the thigh. Maybe you squeeze with compression there. Imagine a ball, football of energy, all building and starting to grow as you concentrate your breath with engagement on the right obliques, the right thigh, becoming as one, really squeezing that area. And what this does, it's communicating to parts of the brain to open up a little more of that passive, reflexive tone. Maybe starting to slow things down, maybe starting to open up some space in some other areas. Doesn't take much here as you just concentrate on your breath, squeezing all that area, big breath in. And then slowly allow everything to soften as you relax, coming back to your natural state of breath. And then slowly we'll bring the right hand back to the front of the mat. The left hand will come to its traditional space. We'll take a big breath in, and then open mouth exhale. On the next inhale, the right hand will come underneath the left. The left hand will come back by the left foot. We'll do all that same engagement on the left side. So feeling the left ribs, the left thigh, everything nice, becoming one piece together as you concentrate your inhale and your exhale towards that side. Squeezing with intention, squeezing the underarms, the core, everything on that left side, just grounding into the earth, sitting back in the hips, really feeling everything there, all that sensation starting to build. Big breath in. Squeeze it even more as you exhale. And come back to your standard pace of breath. Inhale. Just feel the body rebound as you exhale. And then slowly come back to center. Allow the hands to come back to where they were. Inhale. Big, full, expansive exhale with the open mouth release. Swaha. Slowly walk the hands back towards the shoulders. Press into the earth. Will rise up. Removing the block or the bolsters, we're going to drop back into that toe stretch again one more time. So allow yourself to lift the heels, tucking the toes. This time we'll see if things feel a little bit differently, a little bit nicer, a little bit more spacious as you sit back in the hips, finding yourself putting that weight onto the toes. Maybe you feel a little more open space there. You sit back in the hips, finding the core engaged, that upward mobility of your awareness coming towards the crown chakra. Maybe this time we allow our hands to intertwine the fingers, making a nice little ball, and we start to bring our awareness there as we just focus our drishti on these wrist circles. Maybe imagine that this is the globe moving, allowing your peripheral vision once again to get nice and soft as you just focus on the space between you, and then you slowly allow that ball of intertwined energy in the hands to move away. Once it gets far away from you, close the eyes, bring the hands back towards the space where the eyes close, and then when you're ready, open the eyes, focusing right there on the hands again as you move that big intertwining ball, that globe trotter like movement moving away. Close the eyes, bring it back right towards the third eye space, open the eyes, coming up close and just feeling that drishti space moving away from you. One more time, close the eyes, and slowly allowing everything to rebound. When you're ready, we'll slowly come off of the toes. Once again, show the toes some love. We're going to spread the knees wide, sit back into that child's pose, take whatever variation you like, and just give yourself a moment just to sink in, just to surrender with no expectation. Just allow your body to be nice and heavy. Observe where your mind's going. Are you able to stay present with the sensation? Are you feeling any more openness in the feet, the toes? There's a saying that goes, open toes, opened mind. Maybe you're exploring that right now. One more big breath in. And squeeze out all that old air as you exhale. On your next inhale, allow yourself to walk the hands underneath the shoulders. We'll press up. You come upright. We're going to allow ourselves to come sitting back onto our sit bones. So modifying, if you have a block or a bolster, feel free to adjust. Feel free to move those around. It might be nice to sit on top of your block. That allows the hips to open up. We'll set up for fire log, so bending the knees as if they were 90-degree angles and crossing the right over the left. As you sit up tall, maybe you'll really feel yourself aligning the legs perfectly. Maybe you don't, just going what's comfortable for you. And then if you have that bolster, maybe nice to bring it on top of your core and top of your belly to make a little offset as you sit up tall in the crown of the head, and then you slowly start to hinge forward. Just finding yourself coming into that nice seated forward fold. Allow yourself just to get nice and heavy as you allow the head to tuck inward. Just feeling your breath here, feeling yourself supported by the earth. We're going to be here for 2 minutes. So once again, just an opportunity to go inward. Whenever we fold forward, we pull our awareness and our energy into ourselves. This is a perfect opportunity to start to slow your breath down even more. Just to observe wherever you might feel sensation and allowing your mind to go there. As we're in the shape for another minute and a half, I'm going to read a little excerpt from the book Clarity and Connection, written from young Pueblo. So just allow yourself to just close your eyes. It says, wisdom is accepting that there are things you cannot force. People change when they are ready. Creativity moves at its own rhythm. Healing does not have a time limit. Love blooms when things align. I'll read that again. Wisdom is accepting that there are things you cannot force. People change when they are ready. Creativity moves at its own rhythm. Healing does not have a time limit. Love blooms when things align. Here for 30 more seconds. One more big breath in. Really feel yourself expanding the back of the ribs, the back of the shoulders. And then as you exhale, squeezing out all that old air, just feeling that compression grounding you towards the earth. Then we'll engage the core. The hands will press into the earth. We're going to slowly rise up. There's no rush. Once you get there, removing the bolster, allow yourself to open up the legs. We're going to switch positions. So if you had right on top of left, this time the left will go on top of the right. Whenever you're ready, feeling the sit bones grounding into the earth, finding length in the crown of the head, big breath in. And then slowly as you exhale, starting to hinge forward, really feeling the body finding that comfortable space. Maybe even check that you switch which arm position you had in front of the other, just so that you have a little bit of novelty, a little creativity while you drop back in. We're here for 2 more minutes. When we're in this yin practice, what we're doing is we're allowing time to open up that connective tissue around the joints, the fascia, which is that area that connects, moves our muscles, it holds our tension, and it takes a little more time for it to open up. As it does, it starts to hydrate those areas. You might notice that after you're in a shape for about 30 seconds that you open up a little more space, you might find a little more depth. We're about halfway through the shape. Just observing wherever you feel sensation. And on your next inhale, just imagine a green, fresh light going to that area, just surrounding and healing and repairing that area. And then as you exhale, imagine an orange release going in every direction, just letting go of something that no longer serves you, whatever it may be. We're here for 2 more cycles of breath. Slowly, as you exhale, engaging the core, pulling the belly to the spine, the hands find the earth, will slowly rise up, taking your time. Once you get upright, removing the block or the bolsters, we're going to slowly start to transition to our mats now. So however you want to get there, maybe you walk the heels towards the glutes, you allow yourself to connect underneath the thighs as you slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time. Once you get to the earth, feel free to bring the knees into the chest, give yourself a nice yogi hug. Taking a moment here, feeling the low back find the earth, the shoulders, really compressing the thighs towards the ribs. Maybe you feel that space that you opened up in the hips. You feel that connectivity, finding your breath. And then slowly allow yourself to bring the feet to the earth, but heel toe the feet to the outer edges of the earth. We're going to go through some windshield wipers for the next minute. Really slowly allow yourself to allow the thighs to fall towards the sides, and then slowly drifting them one towards the other side. Maybe imagine that you're tracing rainbows with your knees. You can close your eyes here and just feel that space between the hips opening up, continuing to hydrate those sticky spots, really just allowing a range of motion to be free and uninhibited, but just observing where you might feel your edge or you might feel the need to rush, and then see if you can slow everything down even more. Nice and slow. There's a saying in the Yin practice that says to be like the Tao, move like a cow. So nice and easy, nice and slow. There is no rush. Just observing where your mind is going, being present with your thoughts, coming back to your mat if you find the mind wandering. Beautiful. Whenever you're ready to set up for your final resting shape, allow yourself to do so. Just taking up space, dropping into Shavasana. Might be nice to put a bolster underneath the knees as you find comfortable resting shape. But most importantly, take up space. Imagine yourself like a starfish at the bottom of the ocean, spreading the toes, the fingers wide, feeling that space between the toes that we opened up, those nice toe stretches, and feeling the shoulders nice and relaxed, everything getting nice and heavy, and start to scan the body. Observe if you feel little tingles, little pops of energy still moving around, and if so, maybe you direct all of your energy now into your fists and you ball them and you make your fingers clench in and you squeeze everything intentionally, really firm and hard, and putting all your awareness there. Really tense into the fists. Maybe as you inhale, you feel the fingernails, the bones all gripping together, putting all of your energy there, and then as you exhale, squeeze even harder. One more time, inhale. And then this time as you exhale, just allow yourself to open up the fists, feel everything nice and soft as you allow the body just to let go. And now let's do the same thing with the lower body. So bringing your awareness into the thighs, the feet, maybe you curl the toes, you squeeze the thighs and the legs, everything nice and firm in that lower body, really active, really squeezing the calves, everything is clenching up, putting all that energy there as you squeeze even harder with your intention. Big breath in, squeeze even harder even as you exhale. Squeezing the toes, the feet, feeling everything nice and firm, engaged. One more time, inhale, and then allow everything to get nice and soft as you exhale. And now coming to the face, making a mean mug, feeling the eyebrows, the eyes, the teeth even they clench and maybe start to Feel the jaw engage, everything nice and firm, really putting that awareness into the head space, maybe even press the top of the head into the earth. Everything is nice and active, putting any remaining lagging emotion to that space as you inhale. And then as you exhale, just allow everything to get nice and soft. Even allow the tongue to fall to the back of the throat as you drift into your Shavasana. And as you do so, I'll slowly start to transition to introducing some music and guiding you through a Yoga Nidra. Just give yourself a moment to be nice and heavy, to find peace, stillness, scanning the body, feeling your breath, knowing that you have nowhere else to be, nothing to do, only to rest, only to guide your awareness. Maybe observe if you're holding on any more tension. Just allow everything just to soften. Feel the feet falling heavier and heavier to the sides of the body. And we'll start to scan the body. So as parts of the body are called, just allow your awareness to go there. Maybe you say the name of the body with your inside voice, or more importantly, just feel that sensation in that area. We'll start at the eyebrow center, moving towards the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the ears, the lips, the tongue, the upper row of teeth, the lower row of teeth, the back of the throat, moving towards the palate, down to the clavicle, top side of the chest, moving over towards the left shoulder, moving from the upper arm down to the elbow, from the elbow to the forearm. Slowly, slowly, bit by bit, piece by piece, feeling the wrist on the left hand, feeling the left palm of the hand, the left thumb, left index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, coming back to the left palm of the hand, feeling the creases in the palm of the hand, feeling the warmth of the heartbeat. Now moving up to the forearm, the elbow, the bicep, the tricep, the underarm, the left shoulder. Now sweeping your awareness over towards the right shoulder, moving down the upper arm to the right elbow, the forearm down to the wrist, the wrist to the palm of the hand, the right thumb, the base of the thumb, the tip of the thumb, the nail. Now moving over to the right index finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, the pinky finger, back to the palm of the hand, coming up the wrist, the forearm, the elbow, the bicep, the tricep, the underarm,
Coming back to the heart center. Feeling the heart center. Now moving down the chest. Feeling each of the ribs. Moving into the torso, the organs, the obliques. Slowly, slowly coming down towards the navel center. Now moving over towards the right hip. Feeling the thigh connecting into the right hip socket. Feel the weightiness of the thigh, even feel the bone, the femur, go down, and maybe you even imagine the bone marrow, the density of the bone, all heavy, all grounded, moving down the right thigh to the knee to the shin, to the right ankle, the top of the foot, the sole of the foot, the heel, each of the toes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Moving back to the right ankle, the back side of the calf muscle, the back of the knee, back of the thigh, coming to the base of the spine, now shifting over into the left hip socket. Feel the spaciousness of the hip, feel the heaviness of the left thigh, moving down the thigh to the left knee, moving down to the left ankle, the top of the foot, the bottom of the foot, the sole of the foot, the left big toe, second toe, third, fourth, fifth toe. Coming back up, the Achilles, the calf muscle, the back of the thigh, back to the hip socket. Now shifting your awareness towards the base of the spine, feeling the posterior chain, the back side of the hips, the low back, the back of the ribs, the right shoulder blade, the left shoulder blade, the back of the head, the crown of the head. Coming back to the eyebrow center. Now using your awareness to feel the entire left side of the body all as one. Feeling the left arm, the left leg, the left ear, isolated, individual, that yin energy on the left side of the body all as one. Feel the left side of the body heavy, still. Now sweep your awareness over towards the right side of the body, the right foot, the right thigh, the right ribs, the right shoulder, the right arm, all as one. Isolating the right side of the body, that yang energy, all as one piece. Now feel the whole body all as one. The whole body. The whole body. Now scan your body from the toes all the way to the crown of the head. Feeling grounded, feeling heavy, as if your bones were made out of steel. And feel how with each exhale, you allow yourself to melt deeper and deeper Feel your muscles relax. Feel your weight softening. There's nothing to hold. In this moment, you are safe. You are seen. Now shift your attention to the breath. Feel the inhale, feel your breath as energy. As you feel the ribs rise and fall, the whole body changing with the breath. Visualize a soft glow. Observe that glow. Maybe it's glowing in the color of violet, perhaps golden and white light. Allow it to radiate out from your heart space with each inhale. Allow that glow to cascade, to grow bigger and bigger, to surround you like a cocoon. Each inhale, each exhale glowing brighter and brighter. Go a little deeper. Observe if there's any emotions or feelings that might be arising. In this moment, you don't need to fix them. You don't need to classify them or hold back. Just use your inside voice and say to yourself, it is safe to feel. It is safe to be witnessed. Now we'll go one level deeper, beyond thought, beyond the breath, beyond emotion. There is a space within you that remains unshaken. Tap into it. The layer of your pure awareness. Where you are the sky and everything else is just the weather. Now allow a vision to arise. What is your soul longing to create? What would it feel like to live aligned, inspired, seen? Say to yourself, my gifts are real. My beauty is meant to be shared. I walk in resonance. I lead with love. I trust my timing. Say that to yourself one more time. My gifts are real. My beauty is meant to be shared. I walk walk in resonance. I lead with love. I trust my timing. Allow this feeling to settle. Let it root into your being. Allow yourself to slowly come back into your physical form wherever you are, keeping your eyes closed. Using your next breath as an inhale to send a ripple effect throughout the body and just to observe what it's like to lay perfectly still. Scanning the body. Observe if your pace of thoughts are a little bit slower, feel a little more spacious, a little more grounded, and just know that this feeling, you created this with your breath, with your intention, with the time that you spent in your practice. And slowly start to reintegrate wherever you are. Maybe introduce a little bit of movement by connecting the fingertips. The thumb to the index finger, the middle finger. Moving now maybe to the wrist, making little wrist circles. Maybe you want to do a good morning stretch by reaching overhead. Pulling the knees into the chest, give yourself a nice yogi hug. And whenever you're ready to exit your Shavasana, know that this is the end of your practice for today. This is where the practice truly begins as we take the yoga with us off the mat. So allow yourself to adjust, to take as much time as you need. Thank you for the time spent together. May your practice continue. Namaste.